We come at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. And they're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Seattle Seahawks. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
So a nice run right there, and worth mentioning their usual starting running back out this week. The hope is it's just a short-term absence, but this is where it pays, Charles, to have a quality reserve that you can turn to when you need it.
And to me, they definitely have that because this is a guy who's more than capable of picking up the slack. And he's likely going to see a big share of carries as this one progresses. And how many times do we see running backs jump into the breach and have big games?
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Tackle coming from the safety, Trey Flowers.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big connection on that one, 36 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Off play action, Cotton. Wide open receiver complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Donovan Peoples-Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game.
This taken in at the goal line. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Jacob Phillips. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line.
Well, this defense for the Browns, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. A nice little game 7 yards there, but not enough. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is fielded at the 7. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Just the one misstep for them in the first half of the season. 7-1 is the record at the midway point. And in terms of whatever power rankings you want to go by, they're at or near the top of the list in terms of best teams in the National Football League.
And for me, in my little bit of rankings here, I've got them at the top. I know there's still 2 months to go. We've seen teams get off to hot starts and then fade away due to injuries or the schedule or whatever. But unless there are a rash of injuries on this team, I'd be surprised if they aren't a 1st or a 2nd seed come playoff time.
Pushes him over, and he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Throwing on 1st down.
Cotton, and that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You count. Touchdown! That's caught. Odell Beckham. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. Wilson's throw into the hands of Lockett. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They'll try the sweep. It's Lockett with it. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. They go play action now. Wilson.
And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
The scoreboard tells the story for him, a little bit bleak. And while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close. But the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Defensively, they rally the troops to force fourth down after that 7-yard pickup back on first.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat, in every meeting with reporters. This week, he kind of said, I've had enough. And I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. That's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
And the rookie's going to learn as he goes.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out.
Touchdown, Browns! Anthony Schwartz, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Grant Delpit. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Cotton.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about. Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there. Check it up nicely. Good English on that punt. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Extra point right down the middle, and it is 28-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. From the gun on third down, Wilson. It's caught, Lockett. And he goes out right around the 39.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw taken in by Jarwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing again here, Wilson. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. John Johnson with the INT. And the Browns are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Fielded just outside the goal line. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. 5 yards remain on second down.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that. And they force another incompletion.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Browns drive about to get started. They begin this drive with Chubb. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
64 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the opposite of what you would think. You know, in your mind, you're thinking, I redouble my efforts, I go harder. In a sense, you have to back off a little bit. You have to do a little bit less. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't take on the pressures of doing more and trying to do your teammates' jobs as well. If you do that, that's really going to lead you to more issues.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Check Mike 27. Cowboy 80. All day, just like that.
Off the play fake. Cotton. He finds his target, Beckham.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves. Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Now Chubb running right.
It was Alton Robinson that time on the tackle.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
the penalty, Chubb. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. The ball's still a few inches shy of the marker after the 3-yard run, so now a little soul-searching on fourth down. And his kick is indeed good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So tack on 3 more, though this, it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner. But at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great, too.
Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3. Throwing is Wilson. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A give. This is Chubb. He'll get it to the 23-yard line. 107 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. 2nd down. Here's Chubb again. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Handoff comes to Chubb. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Max 22, Max 22.
Wilson. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
Here's 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by John Johnson. And the Browns are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They run. Chubb. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Chubb. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 153 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. They run again on 1st down. Chubb. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave it with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And they will take a knee here. So Cleveland able to come